Okay, so just to kind of get us started here, is there, pardon me, are there any questions before I move into the next from the previous class that we did about codes and whatnot? If you have any questions, or did you have an experience that you'd like to share before we kind of move on into this class? No. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to be doing in this class is the focus is going to be on chanting and sound healing and pranayama, and just kind of putting those two together. So to start off with, since there's no questions or there's no comments or anything, we're just going to really get right into it, because I know once I get going, oh, a bitch can go on. So we really just want to get right into it. So, and I will be getting into, so we're going to start with chanting, then we're going to move into pranayama, and then I'm going to explain why those things work, like why and how those things work. So we're going to start off with we're just going to do the seed mantras to start off with, and then we're going to move into another chant. If you'd like to chant along, either out loud if you can, or even just in your mind, I'm going to put this in the chat. Hold on a second, so you can follow along. Okay. So there you go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start chanting from the root chakra up to the third eye. And then once we get to this crown chakra, oh, we got another one coming through. Okay, so perfect timing. We were just getting started. So as I said, we have the seed mantras in the chat here so that you can follow along. And we're going to chant from the root chakra up to the third eye. And once we get to the crown, it's silent here. So we'll just hold for a few seconds when we get to that. So I've been guided to chant each chakra seed mantra 4 times for this particular recording. You don't have to continue on with that. If you like, if this is something you'd like to continue to use in your practice, you don't have to do it 4 times. You can chant as many times as you're guided to. I just felt that's what I'm getting, is to chant each one 4 times. So we'll start with Lum, which is the root chakra. We'll do that 4 times, and then we'll move up. Okay, and so even though they look like lamb, vam, ram, yam, ham, and om, it's pronounced like om. Okay, so lum, vom, ram, right, like that. Okay, so we're just going to get right into it, and then I'll get into the more of the teaching part of it. So like I said, either chant out loud with me if you'd like. You can chant in your mind. This can get a little loud, so if you're worried about disturbing those around you, I might recommend putting in the earphones, just so that you're not disturbing people around you. And so just to get started, if you can, I recommend just sitting up straight, spine straight, shoulders back, but not like straining. We're not like out here, right? Just comfortable. Okay, so just straight but not straining. Okay, sit up straight, and then we're going to actually take in 3 breaths in and out, and then we'll start the chant. Okay, so let's begin. Close your eyes if you'd like, keep them open, whichever. Okay, and you may like to do put a mudra here. That's what I like to do. Okay, if you don't need to though, that's just something I like to do. So let's begin. Lum, 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 yam, Oops, sorry. Vam. 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 Ram. 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 Yam. 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 Hum. 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 Om. 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 And then we're going to go again, starting with lum. 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 Vam. 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 Rum. 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 Yum. 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 Hum. 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 Om. 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 And we're going to go again, starting with lum, root chakra. Lum. 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 Vam. 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 Rum. 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 Vam. No. Yum. 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 hum, 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 om, 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 om. All right, last time, starting with lum. Lum, 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 vam, 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 rum, 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 yum, 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 hum, 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 om, 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 om. Okay. How did that feel? How are you feeling? What are you feeling? Relaxed? Good. Pardon me. Okay. Okay. Just kind of tapping in. Do you feel anything? Are you getting any physical cues in your body? Are you in tune with your energy body? Are you getting into the psychic clairs coming through? Just be really aware of all of your fields, your physical body, all of your bodies. Your emotions, was there an emotion triggered? Is there something happening in the mental state? Was they able to go clear? Was there some noise? Go ahead and share, or just be aware. No, apparently the chanting loosened some stuff up here. We'll just take a few minutes here, just take a few moments. Again, just to be in awareness. for me, I just feel like my whole being is just like vibrating right now. So I will share that. I just feel this vibration, that energy just waking up, just lifting, vibrating, really tapped into that vibrational frequency. Pardon me. Okay. No. See, even physically, I've got things like like that energy is moving up. Whew, okay. So our next chant, I'm just going to throw that in the chat so you can chant along if you'd like. This is the Addi Mantra. Typically, it's very common. Oh, here we go. Brittany's here. Okay. Head hurts around my third eye. Only in that area, though. Okay. So you've got that third eye wakening up. It's expanding, waking up. Okay. And it's really common too if it's more of a hurt, like if it's there's a pain there. For me, that says there's a little bit of it might be a little underactive, maybe a little blocked in that area if it's pain. There shouldn't be pain there. An area, if you're feeling pain in any area of your body, just be really clear of it, be aware of it, and understand that if there's pain, mild to extreme, right? That's letting you know there's a blockage of energy there. Okay. And so you can, the pranayama is really going to help with that, but also just the chanting is going to clear that stuff out too. So if you want to continue to, chant Om to really open that up, get that going, get that energy flowing, it might be really helpful also to know, to be aware in the third eye, what's going to block that stuff. And so that you know how to clear it. Okay. And so that's really using your imagination, doing that chanting, being aware of your clairs. Okay. And so if there's a blockage of energy in that third eye, it's typically, okay, I'm gonna write that down. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. So typically if there's a blockage or like the third eye chakra is not moving in a healthy pace, okay, there's often some mental blocks there, okay, because it's also a part of this here, right? Like it's the clairs, but it's also related to like the mental stuff. So that tells me that you have some mental stuff kind of getting in the way, or you might have been told, because typically these blocks will go back right to our early childhood, because that's where we get the most programming. Okay, and so we're typically told at that point that, having, an imaginary friend is silly, or you're too old for that, or, it's just your imagination. And like that stuff kind of gets pushed away. Anything that's like, oh, it's just your imagination, whatever. Anytime you're disempowered when it comes to the thoughts you have, the beliefs you have, your psychic abilities, anything that's just disempowered, that's going to block that third eye chakra. Okay. Just to let you know, you may already know this stuff, but in case you don't. Okay. I go more into it in my chakra healing and my Kundalini awakening courses on Udemy. If you'd like me to do more specifically on the third eye chakra, let me know. I will do either a live class or a video or a blog, something, let me know, and I will do that. Okay. So yeah, I threw in the next chant, which is the Addi Mantra. Okay, and typically this is done at the beginning of a yoga class, whether it's Kundalini or what have you. But I really felt like I was called to concentrate on the seed mantras first, and then do the Addi Mantra. And the Addi Mantra is really known to kind of, that skyrockets you, it connects you directly to that source, to that crown chakra, the soul star chakra, and to source. It's just like boom, right? It's meant to bring you right up there. Okay, and we chant it 3 times. Okay, so I will chant it once just in case you don't know the rhythm of it, and then you can join in. So the rhythm, we'll just start with the rhythm. Okay, so Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Okay, so we can chant that together if you'd like. Here we go again. Straight spine, shoulders back, but not like straining, right? We're just comfortable, we're just straight, okay? You may want to have your feet on the ground too to help you kind of ground. We're trying to go up, but you also want to be grounded. You don't want to get lost up here, okay? That you can start to feel disconnected, and it can be really scary when that happens. So make sure you're grounded. We might even do a grounding meditation at the end of this. So just to make sure. So here we go. Take in a deep breath. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And pardon me for being off tune, not a singer. I should have warned you all before that. Okay. So I know that one was vastly shorter than the seed mantras. Did that help? Did that do anything for you? Did you feel anything? And again, this is something you can chant on your own. We typically do it 3 times in a row, but if you feel called to do it more, by all means. But if you have anything to share, just throw it in the chat. Okay, now, since there isn't a comment just yet, so I was going to do 2 pranayamas, but you let me know, because we did the 4-7-8 technique in a different class. I believe it was the psychic development class, question mark. I did a few like back to back, so I can't quite remember, but we did the 4-7-8 technique in a different class. And so if you'd like, we can do that again in case you missed that class too, or if you just enjoyed it, we can do it again. And I wanted to do a second pranayama, which is the Anuloma Viloma, also known as Nadi Shodhana, or alternative nostril breathing. Okay, so before we do that, so did you want to do both? Do you want to do pranayama 1, as I call it, the 4-7-8 technique, or just Anuloma Viloma? Let me know. You can just either write 1 or 2 in the chat, or both. Let me know. Open to either. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll do both then. Oof. I'm open to learning either one. Okay. Yeah, I can already tell. I'm like, oh, I know I'm gonna need grounding. So I'm gonna finish this off with a grounding meditation, because I'm already like, whoa, feeling that. Feeling a little flighty here. So okay. So the 4-7-8 technique I will be using, which I forgot to warn people last time, I think, but I'll be using my singing bowl. You can see that here. Okay. And I'll be hitting it. No, there we go. Sorry if that hurt your ears. So I'll be striking the wooden mallet against my singing bowl here. Then you will inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 7, I'll strike the bowl again, exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds, and then we'll repeat. Okay, I'll guide you through it, but just so you know. So I'm going to strike this bowl And then you're going to inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Okay. Hold for 7. Exhale through your mouth for 8. And again, inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. One more. Hold. Exhale. One more. Hold for 7. Exhale. Okay, we'll leave it at that one for now since we're going to do another one. So you can inhale, just breathe normally, comfortably. Move this over here. Okay, so again, just feel in, be aware. Again, just be aware of any physical cues in your body. Be aware of your energy body, your thoughts, your emotions. Okay, if there's anything you'd like to share, go ahead and put it in the chat before we move on to the next one. And again, this is being recorded, so you can always come back to this, or often when I do these classes, because I do tend to move through them very quickly, or I'll veer off into something. I'd like to have like notes that I'll put up in the group. So I'll put these up as notes as well, just in case, so that you can come back to it if you feel called to. You have those instructions there for you. And again, they are also a part of, I don't know if both of them are a part of my chakra series, but they are in my Kundalini awakening. So if you're interested in that as well. Okay. So if everyone is good, then we can move on to the Anuloma Viloma or Nadi Shodhana. Okay, so for this one, you have kind of a mudra here, okay? So if you can, see if you can, I'm going to take this back off because you can't really see my hands. No. Just want to take away the background. Take away that. There we go. Okay. So you have kind of a mudra here, if you can. So you take your middle finger, okay, and your index finger. If you can, keep your ring finger and thumb specifically, okay? So you're going to do that. Okay, and then you're going to, just so you, well, let's see, is it mirrored? I think it's mirrored. So you're going to close off your right nostril with your thumb, and you're going to breathe in through your left nostril, okay? And then you're going to hold. So you're going to breathe in for 4, and then you're going to hold for the count of 8. So these are just some instructions for you, okay? So we'll just to test it. So we'll go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 8. Okay, and then close. Then you have your. Going to close off your left nostril with that ring finger. Okay, and then you're going to release slowly. You're going to exhale through the right nostril for 8 seconds. Okay. Now you can't really see what I'm doing here. So, okay, so we block off the right with the thumb. Okay, and then we'll move over and we block off the left with that ring finger. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna block off that right nostril with the thumb. Breathe in through the left nostril for the count of 4. Hold for 8. Now bring it on over. Block your left nostril with that ring finger, and then release your thumb. Okay. And then you're going to exhale out your right nostril for 8. Now keep it there. Keep it in position, and then you're going to breathe. You're going to inhale through the left nostril. You're going to inhale through your right nostril. There we go. Inhale through so leave your ring finger blocking the left side, and then you're going to breathe in through your right side for the count of 4. Hold. Close off the right nostril with your thumb. Okay, and then you're going to exhale for the count of 8 through your left nostril. Keep it there, and then inhale for the count of 4. Hold for 8. Bring this on over. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Bring it on over. Release. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Bring it over. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Bring it over. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Bring it on over. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Okay. And then just breathe normally. Whew. All right, so how are you feeling? What are you feeling? Be aware. If there's anything you'd like to share, just throw it in the chat. Okay. Okay. Feel good. Brain fog I had today is clear. Awesome. It's awesome. Yep. Especially the Anuloma Viloma, because this is really about, and I didn't get into it, this is about balancing the nadis. So we have a nadi system that helps move prana. Okay. And prana is energy that rides on the breath, and then it moves through and processes through the chakras and the nadi system. Okay. And so we have our main nadis, which are the Sushumna, the Ida, and the Pingala. Okay. And then, so when we do this, we're balancing the masculine and the feminine energies. And it actually, the way they move, so you have, I always get mixed up on which side is which. So pardon me if I get them, the sides incorrect, I always get them mixed up. So I believe Ida is on the right side. I didn't write it down. So it's right. No, it's on the left side and affects the right side of the brain. And Pingala is on the right side of the body, but affects the left side of the brain. I always get them mixed up, with why I usually will make a note of it, because I'm forever getting them mixed up. So I'm like, which side? And then it crosses over and affects the brain. But these nadis, they come up through and then down and throughout the nostril, okay? And so we balance that out, that helps to release that brain fog, because it comes up into the brain and then comes back out the nostrils, okay? Again, I can make note of that because that was a messy explanation. So I'll make a note of it for in the group. Okay. Let me bring up a whiteboard. Okay. We have, okay. Okay, see if I can move this. No, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, let's bring this. There we go. So that way everyone can see. Can everyone see that? All right. See if I can I move this down? Nope. Okay, yes. Okay. So here's why these things work. So they work off of your brain waves. Okay. So there's a vibrational frequency that happens with these brain waves. And so first we'll go with gamma. And gamma is all about, and it's the first one here, so you can see the brain waves are really just going, right? So this is when we're really, really stressed out. We're in survival mode, okay? And just that's, like that's when, we're getting attacked by the bear, so to speak, right? Or, and a lot of us that have been through trauma and we still have this unhealed trauma, that our brain is still in that, we're constantly in this gamma, right? Like when we're awake and we're just stressed out all the time, right? We have this like stress addiction, or we're stressed out in a situation, or like I said, we have some unhealed trauma and we're still experiencing PTSD, or sometimes we'll get labeled as having anxiety when really it's just unhealed PTSD. Okay, and so that gamma is when we're in gamma, we are not able to process codes. We might still be able to bring in and download these consciousness codes or light codes, whatever your name is for it. But so you can download it, but you won't be able to process it because your waves are just going too fast. You're just too high, too stressed out, and that stuff just cannot come in. That's to put it in chakra verbiage, you're blocked, right? You're just blocking all that stuff out. It'll download, but it won't process. Okay. So we really want to make sure that we're not in that state of mind when we're trying to download codes. Or really, we don't, that's unhealthy just in general. We don't want to be in gamma. We certainly don't want to be in it for long periods of time, because this is when we get sick. Okay. And this is when it can really affect just everything. It affects our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health, all that jazz. Okay. So we really don't want to be in gamma. And if you're in gamma, this will help you to be able to come into a more relaxed state. And this is where those codes will really be able to process through. Okay. So next is beta. And beta is really our day-to-day. Like right now, we're likely in the frequency of beta. It's just that day-to-day, we're still active, but we're not stressed out. We're awake, but we're not, I have a note here so I didn't forget stuff. Okay, we're awake and active, but again, not stressed out. This is just our normal day-to-day stuff. Okay. And then as we start to kind of come down and unwind either throughout the day, or this is really when we get into our meditative practice. Okay, like we go into alpha and then theta as we're going to sleep. Okay, so we get into this more relaxed, getting relaxed, and then theta, we're likely falling asleep at this point, or we are asleep at this point, okay? But when we get to the alpha and theta, we're really just relaxed, right? So you might even be feeling that right now after we've gone through the chanting and the pranayama. You might be feeling very relaxed right now. And chances are, because you're still active, you're still paying attention to something, you're probably in alpha because you're relaxed, but you're not asleep, right? So then we move into theta. So we have, as we begin to meditate or just unwind and relax into sleep, we move into alpha and then theta. Okay. Okay. And it's in the alpha and the theta that we're able to process consciousness codes. We've received from other people throughout our day. What else? Okay. And we're able to process them faster and better than in beta, right? So in beta, you can still process codes, but it's going to be a little more slow going because you're still active and doing stuff, but you're not like, stressed out, okay? But okay, so you're faster than in beta, but we're in alpha and theta, but not quite as quick as delta. Okay, and that's our next one. So when we're moving into that alpha and theta, specifically in meditation, because you can enter into alpha and then theta without being asleep, you're just incredibly relaxed and open. That's a big one. That's how you're able to process these codes, is because you're open to receiving at that point when you're really in that state of just, I'm relaxed, right? So you could even just be in some breathing, right? And you don't have all these thoughts just racing, right? The mind is really quiet. I mean, you'll still have some, some thoughts will probably come through. That's a muscle you, pardon me, that's a muscle you'll build over time. Excuse me. So yeah, that's a muscle you'll build over time. So eventually though, you'll find that the mind gets very quiet, you get very still, okay, very relaxed, but not necessarily asleep, especially if you're doing meditation and, just to relax, but not fall asleep. Okay, so I don't recommend, if you're looking to download or process codes through meditation, I do not recommend lying down. Okay, don't be in corpse pose or be comfortable in your bed, you'll pass out. Okay. Okay, so then we're going to move on to delta. Okay, and delta is when we move, so when we move into delta, that's when the crown chakra is going to open. Okay, because we're very, okay, so, and we're able to receive downloads and process codes from source and our higher self. Okay, and we're able to do this when we're in that state. And again, this is a muscle you'll build over time. So when you're in that state, you'll be able to process these codes like boom, instantly. That's where you get those instant ahas. Okay, when the mind is very still, you don't have all these thoughts coming through, right? Muscle you build. So the mind is entirely quiet, entirely still. Okay, you are completely out of the way. That's a big one. So you have to be out of the way to let the stuff just come right through. Okay. Okay. And so that's what we call bliss state, when that crown chakra opens. So the mind, you are out of the way, the mind is quiet and still, and that is when you will experience that bliss state. Okay, you're just blissed right out. Okay, you're totally chill. Like nothing's bothering you here. You're completely relaxed, but not asleep. Okay. And when that mind is completely still, completely quiet, there's no thoughts, just nothing. Okay. And that's when you enter into samadhi. Okay. And that's when things really start to, that's when all of those codes really just start going. They process instantly. Okay. And when that happens, you may not necessarily have the thought, right? Because you're quiet. You're just allowing them to process. And then once you come out of that state, that's when you can really start to absorb and take in. Okay. And that's when you're really aware. You'll get all of these like inspirations and ahas. And when you get into that samadhi state, that is really when you're open to receiving that truth that we talk about in Kundalini and other yoga paths. Okay, that's when you really become, you may get that third eye where you get the visual, right, of that crown chakra opening. For me, it was in a dream state. So I saw myself, I completely lifted out of my body, and like I astral traveled, I lifted right out of my body, went right through, went up into space. Okay, and that's where I went and saw, first I was in space and I could see it, and then I was it. And that's samadhi right there, that I am that. Okay, that's when you have samadhi, when you become aware and you remember. That's really what that is. When you remember your true self, I am that. Okay, Soham Satnam, I am that. I am truth. Okay, and that's when you're going to have those, and that's really the path of that Kundalini, and the purpose of the yoga paths is to become aware of that state, so that you can achieve that liberation, that autonomy. No, not autonomy. That's not the word I want. What is the word I want? What is it? Well, oh, there goes my cat. You might hear my cat yelling at me right now. His name's Doodle. Well, Drizzt, but we call him Doodle. He's chanting with us now. But you come into your own power, okay? And I think that's going to be a big theme. I think that's next week's class, of really coming into your power, okay, and your own authority, and taking in and really being able to trust yourself in your own guidance, okay? Because that's really where that comes from, is that samadhi state and knowing your truth, okay? I am not this, okay? I am not this. I am not this story around Liz, right? I am not Liz. I am not this story, okay? I am none of these things, okay? Pure consciousness. My cat is trying to jump on my lap. He wants to be a part of the conversation. Okay, yes, yes. Okay, and that's when that all really starts to roll, though, when we go through these frequencies, these brain wave frequencies, sorry. And then when we're able to really move through those, okay, and release that ego, those veils that I talked about. Hopefully you read my blog post on what the ego really is. If you haven't, I do recommend it. Just so you can really get more in depth into understanding what the ego is, because there's some misconceptions there. So well, we want to remove those veils, the veils of the ego that tell us we are this story. We identify as this body, these thoughts, these beliefs, right? Those are all veils. They're all bullshit. Okay. We are none of these things. Okay. Which really isn't meant to be the point of this class, but I feel like that's what wants to come through. Okay. So does anybody, I know we're coming around to the end of this hour. So does anybody have any questions or comments, anything you'd like to share before we move on? I'm just gonna close this up. Okay. Close. Yep. Why am I blanking on how to close? See, I'm so like, oh, right now that I'm like, how do I close the whiteboard again? No. Close whiteboard. There it is. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't look like we have any questions or comments just right now. Okay. So, right, we want to do a grounding. That's right. Before I do, though, I just want to very quickly, again, not necessarily planned, but I did get a little ding ding that I might want to use the cards. So I'm going to pull one card. We'll see what happens, just to see if there's any additional messages that need to come through before we do a grounding here. Pardon me. Okay. Let's see if there's any messages that want to come through that we need to receive at this time. Anything wants to come through, just real quick. Message, guidance, see what wants to come through. See? Okay. So what came up here was loneliness. Okay. And I'll read the thing here. So it says, I know that I am never alone. And that's funny that that comes up. And you see maybe in the picture, if you can see that. Picture's not great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because what's funny about this to me is that this is letting us know that we are all connected. So it goes back to, as I was saying about when samadhi happens, you remember your truth. Okay. You also remember that we're all connected. We are all aspects of God. Okay. Experiencing itself on this physical plane. Okay. And as I mentioned in the blog post about what the ego really is, until you actually have that experience, you can understand it intellectually, but it's not truth to you yet until that happens, okay? So I feel like this is a reminder, okay, just to remember that we're all connected. We are all aspects of God experiencing itself on this planet, okay? So whether that's, and this goes back to shadow work, I'll just touch on it really quick, because I also did a blog post about that. I believe I shared the link in the group. I'll mention it very clearly, that all of those things that we push away, that become shadow, okay? And we have the projections as well with other people, right? We have as human beings, with these veils in place, okay, we tend to judge other people, oh, what they're doing is so bad, or I would never do that, right? Check yourself, okay? That's what these shadows are, the things that we reject about ourselves. So what we reject about others is what we reject about ourselves, and that gets stored in the unconscious, okay? And that's what becomes shadow. And until we can integrate that, remove those veils, integrate that, okay, we will never have true liberation. Okay, so I'll just mention that very quickly. But that is our reminder, that is our guidance for tonight. It's just that reminder that we are never alone, because we are all one, we are all connected. It's also why we have collective consciousness, as I mentioned before. So that is our guidance. That's what needed to come through. Did anybody pick up on anything there? Did they feel that? Or did you want me to expand on that at all? Back through. Okay. No, seem okay. It's okay. So clear that. Okay. So before we go into clearing, I just need a sip of water. Okay. So before we do go into grounding, because we are coming up to the end of this hour, and I'm so yay that once again I was able to keep it to an hour, because usually I go over, because a bitch can talk. Okay. Is there anything, anybody has any questions about tonight, or any comments, anything you'd like to share? Just throw it in the chat. And if not, then we'll just move on into grounding. Okay, so I'm going to put that background back on. Okay. No. Okay, so just a quick reminder that I'll add these notes. I mean, if you took notes, great. Just in case they aren't notes that I end up sharing with the group. Okay, but I will be adding some of these notes to the group, because I know that I have a habit of going too quickly. Okay. Okay, so if we're all ready, okay, so again, if you're sitting, just sit straight, spine straight, shoulders back, not straining, okay, just comfortable. Make sure your feet are either flat on the ground, or make sure if you're sitting like with your bum bones, right on the ground, okay, make sure you're really in there, not uncomfortable, just make sure you're sitting in there. Okay. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and close your eyes. You don't have to, but if it helps. Taking a deep breath. Okay. So if you'd like, you can visualize, and if visualization isn't really your strong suit, you can just go ahead and intend as we go through, okay? So we're going to visualize a golden light, or thread, if you'd like, coming down into that soul star chakra. So that's above the crown. And then it's going to drop down into the crown chakra. Okay, and just imagine this light kind of expanding and filling up your mind, filling up that head space, okay? And it's going to come down into that third eye. It's going to come down and just fill up that whole headspace, your face, your ears. Okay. It's going to drop down into your throat chakra. Make sure it's just filling up that space, golden light. See it moving down into your shoulders and your chest. You might even feel it coming down through your arms and into your hands. Okay, it's moving down. Bring your attention back down into your chest and move it back down into your solar plexus chakra. In that whole area, filling the lungs, your back. And it's going to move down into your sacral chakra, into your hips, reproductive organs. And it's going to move down into your root chakra, so into your bum bones, perineum, all that area. Now, if you're sitting on the floor with your bum bones like on the floor, picture that cord dropping down, okay? Dropping down into the ground. For the rest of us, we're going to move it down through the legs. So it's going to move down in through the thighs, into the knees, down the calves, ankles, tops of your feet. Okay, through the bottom of your feet. Now that cord's going to drop down into the Earth Star chakra. That's going to be a few feet below your feet. Okay, from there it's going to drop down into the earth. And then it's going to turn into roots. And these roots are going to penetrate through the different layers of the earth. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. And then once you reach the core of the earth, these roots are going to wrap around that core. Just going to sit there for a minute. Okay, then you're going to allow yourself to download those earth codes. And then we're going to reverse the awareness. So we're going to bring those earth codes back up with us, with our awareness. So keep your roots intact, but move your awareness back up the way it came. So we're going to go back up through those layers of the earth. Back up through that earth star chakra, where we can start to process those earth codes. And then we're going to come back up through the bottom of the feet, tops of the feet and ankles. Back up through the calves and knees. Back up through the thighs. Back up through that perineum, through the root chakra. Allow those earth codes to continue processing through that chakra. We're going to come up through the sacral chakra. Come up through the solar plexus chakra. And we're going to hit that heart chakra. This is where we're really going to start to integrate and transmute that energy. You might even feel your palms start to tingle. If you don't, that's okay too. Just be aware your palms may tingle. I'm going to bring that energy up from your hands and your arms. Just be aware in your chest. Through the throat chakra. Back up through the face and the third eye chakra. May even want to, I noticed I was, so you may notice that you have tension in that area. Release that tension in your face, that third eye. Back up through the crown. Back up through the soul star chakra. Okay, so we still have that energy from the earth, keeping us attached. We're still attached to that soul star chakra, into that collective consciousness, okay? So we still have that bridge connected to the earth and above, okay? As above, so below, so below, so above. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes if they were closed. Take in some deep breaths if you need to. Okay, if there's anything you'd like to share, go ahead and put it in the chat. Again, the main focus here is just to be aware of your physical body, any physical cues. Be aware of your energy body, your mental, your emotional, those clairs, okay? Did you feel any expansion? Just be aware. Did you feel any energy move? Okay. Okay, if that is it. If there are no questions, any comments, we can go ahead and wrap up. Okay. Okay, so I will say thank you so much for being here for this class. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you in the group. Okay? Bye, guys.